Here's what each cell contains. Outer layer is the cell membrane. It controls what goes in and out. The cell gets energy from the source of mitochondria, also known as the powerhouse. In the ribosomes of the cell with protein synthesis, endoplasmic reticulum will carry substances, breaking down materials, lysosomes. The nucleus controls the cell, kinda like a brain, contains the DNA when cells divide to replicate. Outside the nuclear membrane full of pores. The nucleus makes ribosomes immune from protein secreting hormones are the Golgi bodies. Each unit of a cell is an organelle. The membrane keeps substances out inside, cell filled with cytoplasm. Lysosomes help break things down, energy from mitochondria, protein factories, ribosomes, endoplasmic reticulum, transfer substances like proteins, nucleus controls this.
Cell membrane, mitochondria, lysosomes, ribosomes, cytoplasm, nucleus, ER and Golgi body, the nucleolus. Cell membrane, mitochondria, lysosomes, ribosomes, cytoplasm, nucleus, ER and Golgi body, the nucleolus.
If you look at a plant cell, they have a few different organelles, chloroplast, vacuoles, and a cell wall. Chloroplasts take the sun in, convert to food through photosynthesis, large vacuoles to food, water, and waste. The cell wall is the outer, rigid cellulose as the protector. It provides structure to the cell.
Cell membrane, mitochondria, lysosomes, ribosomes, cytoplasm, nucleus, ER and Golgi body, the nucleolus. Cell membrane, mitochondria, lysosomes, ribosomes, cytoplasm, nucleus, ER and Golgi body, the nucleolus.
Plant cells. Trees, flowers, vegetables, or fruit are made up of plant cells. These are in charge of the growth cycle. More specifically, vegetables make their own food through photosynthesis. A plant cell is a eukaryotic cell. The nucleus is in charge of all cell functions. DNA is stored in the nucleus. DNA is made up by genes, which hold genetic information. When plants reproduce, the genetic material will pass on to the new plant. For this reason, new plants will have the same characteristics. The membrane is a layer that surrounds and protects the cell from the outside environment. The main function of the membrane is to allow food in and release waste substances. Membranes have rigid wall cells which hold up the plant. The cytoplasm is a thick solution found inside the membrane. Organelles are located in the cytoplasm. Chloroplasts are the organelles which produce and store chemical components essential to the cell. For example, chlorophyll, which gives plants their green color, is stored in the chloroplasts. Chlorophyll also plays an important role in photosynthesis. A mitochondrion is the organelle in charge of producing the energy in the cell.
Do you want to keep on learning? Try for free our Smile and Learn platform for a month and enjoy all of our games, videos, and interactive stories. Go for it! Download Smile and Learn on your mobile, tablet, or PC.
Cell structure and function. Cytology is the branch of science which deals with the structure, function, and chemical reactions going on inside the cells. Learning objectives. Identify the structure and functions of basic component cells. Differentiate between animal cells and plant cells. Human beings are complex organisms made of trillions of cells which vary in their size and structure. They are organized into different forms and carry out specific functions. Improved technology has helped biologists to study the organism's cellular structure and function. They have even found ways to modify cellular structures and manipulate gene expressions for the enhancement of human health and environment. Robert Hooke discovered cell in the mid-17th century with a simple microscope and marked the genesis of an exciting era of cellular biology. A cell is the smallest unit of life and the building block of all living organisms. Understanding what makes up the cell and how a cell works is fundamental to all the biological sciences such as biotechnology, genetic engineering, and molecular biology. So let's begin with whole organisms and work down to the molecular level. Organisms are made up of the organ system, such as the digestive system pictured here. Each of these organ systems are comprised of individual organs which work together in a coordinated manner. The organs such as liver, stomach, small and large intestines are a part of the digestive system. All these organs are made up of tissues. Tissues are groups of similar cells that perform the same function, such as the epithelial tissue and the smooth muscle tissue pictured here. Tissues are made up of cells, and the cells are the smallest units of life. Finally, cells contain organelles and molecules such as DNA. Cells are classified into two types on the basis of their structure: prokaryotic cells and eukaryotic cells. Prokaryotic cells are the simpler forms of cells which make up unicellular organisms like bacteria and cyanobacteria. Prokaryotic cells lack membrane-bound nucleus and other membrane-bound organelles. The DNA, which is usually a single circular molecule, floats inside the cytoplasm of the cell. On the other hand, eukaryotic cells make up complex multicellular organisms like plants and animals. The eukaryotic cellular structure is more complex as pictured here. They have a nucleus and other membrane-bound organelles. Animal cells are the foundation of all animals. Let's examine an animal cell more closely. Animal cells are protected by a phospholipid bilayer that surrounds the cell and functions as a gate that allows the entry and exit of molecules from the cell. In the center of the cell lies the nucleus. Nucleus acts as a brain of the cell. Each and every metabolic activity of the cell is regulated by the nucleus. It contains the DNA in the form of chromatin and a nucleolus. Cells contain a number of small double membrane-bound organelles called mitochondria. They are the powerhouses of the cell and carry out aerobic cellular respiration to generate ATP, which is the energy currency of the cell. Ribosomes are small globular bodies found in large numbers inside the cells. They are known as the protein factories of the cells as they carry out the synthesis of proteins inside the cells. Ribosomes may be free or attached to the endoplasmic reticulum. Endoplasmic reticulum forms an interconnected network of tubules and vesicles and functions to transport proteins throughout the cells. Golgi apparatus is the system of membranous sacs called cisternae. The purpose of Golgi apparatus is to transport secretory vesicles and form lysosomes. Lysosomes are the suicidal bags of the cell. They contain digestive enzymes and perform intracellular digestion. Another type of eukaryotic cell is the plant cell. Both the types of cells are very similar, but there are three distinct differences. Firstly, plant cells have a tough cell wall around their cell membrane, while animal cells lack a cell wall. Secondly, plant cells have a large central vacuole, whereas animal cells may have a few small ones. Vacuoles are single membrane-bound organelles which are required for the purpose of storage and waste accumulation. The final difference is the presence of chloroplast in the plant cells. Chloroplasts are the green-colored double membrane-bound organelles which carry out photosynthesis for the plant.
Animal and plant cells share many similarities, since they are both eukaryotes, which means that they have a membrane-bound nucleus. Plant cells are often larger than animal cells. Well, except for eggs, the largest single animal cell is an unfertilized ostrich egg, which weighs around 1.5 kilograms. So let's discuss similarities. Both animal and plant cells have membrane-bound organelles. They also both have cytoplasm, a cell membrane, a nucleus, mitochondria, rough and smooth endoplasmic reticulum, a Golgi apparatus, and peroxisomes. The nucleus is where the genetic information of the cell is housed. The cytoplasm is not to be confused with the cytosol. The cytoplasm is the entirety of the cell contained by the cell membrane. The cytosol, on the other hand, is the part of the cytoplasm not taken up by organelles. The cell membrane is an important semi-permeable division between the cell and its surroundings. It allows the cell to control its own biochemistry by only letting certain substances pass through it. Mitochondria are the powerhouses of the cell. They are specialized to perform aerobic respiration, converting glucose to ATP, which is the energy currency of the cell that is used to perform functions necessary for life. Both rough and smooth endoplasmic reticulum help with the production and storage of proteins. The rough endoplasmic reticulum is covered in ribosomes, which translate RNA into protein. The smooth endoplasmic reticulum makes lipids. The Golgi apparatus modifies proteins. Peroxisomes metabolize waste. Now let's get to the differences between plant and animal cells. One major difference is that plant cells have a rigid cell wall around their plasma membrane. It is composed of cellulose, providing additional stability and protection. As a result, plant cells have fixed angular shapes, while animal cells are mostly round and irregular. Another important difference between animals and plants is how they obtain their energy. Plants are autotrophs, which means that they produce their own food. Meanwhile, animals are heterotrophs, meaning that they must ingest their food. Plants produce sugars through photosynthesis, and then break down the sugar to produce energy. Animals consume other organisms such as plants to obtain sugar, which they then also break down to produce energy. Plants are autotrophs thanks to special organelles called chloroplasts, which are full of chlorophyll, a green pigment that captures light energy to drive the reactions in photosynthesis. Photosynthesis is the process by which plants use the sun's energy to make sugar. Once the sugar is made, it gets broken down in mitochondria. Another important difference between plant and animal cells is in their vacuoles. Vacuoles in plant cells can occupy up to 90% of the cell's volume and have a single membrane. One of their roles is simply to fill up space, but they can also have digestive functions similar to lysosomes. Vacuoles have enzymes that perform many functions and can store nutrients or provide space to degrade waste substances. Animal cells can also have vacuoles, but they are much smaller than the large central vacuole in plant cells. There are multiple of them, and they don't take up 90% of the space. Plant and animal cells both also have cytoskeletons, which feature microtubules, intermediate filaments, and microfilaments. However, these structures are arranged differently in plant and animal cells. Centrioles are present in all animal cells, but are only present in lower plant forms such as Chlamydomonas. Centrioles are microtubule organizing centers, which are structures from which microtubules emerge. Plants don't have centrioles, but instead have many small nucleation sites. In plants, only reproductive cells, known as gametes, can have flagella, such as the sperm of bryophytes. Some animal cells also have flagella. In humans, sperm are the only cells with flagella. However, many animal cells have cilia, unlike most plant cells. For example, we have cilia in our respiratory system to help move debris and mucus, in the female reproductive system to help sperm move towards the egg, and elsewhere. Animal cells have clearly defined lysosomes. However, it's still debated whether some plant cells have them. Lysosomes are membrane-bound spherical vesicles containing hydrolytic enzymes that can break down biomolecules. They are involved in cell processes like secretion, plasma membrane repair, cell signaling, and energy metabolism. Plant cells also have plasmodesmata, which are channels that connect two plant cells. An analogous structure in animal cells is the gap junction, which connects the cytoplasm of two adjacent cells. If you enjoyed this video, like and subscribe. You can also support me by following the link to my Patreon. If you have any topics you'd like me to cover, please leave a comment.